What's up everyone, this is Kay, and I've always loved a cross-franchise battle between characters. And what better way to start this series of FGO versus Genshin Impact than to have the two strongest characters face off. Gilgamesh, the king of heroes, said to be the strongest servant in the Fate franchise versus Zhongli, the oldest Archon in Genshin Impact, who has slain many gods during the Archon War. This is also a funny matchup, cause Gil can literally buy anything he wants as the richest hero in Fate, while Zhongli has money issues. Well, not really, but he always forgets to bring his Mora. In this video, I'll break down the characters' powers and abilities, the advantages and disadvantages of their attacks to see who is stronger in an all-out battle. As a heads up, I'll analyze Zhongli during his prime as the Geo Archon Morax, cause he's significantly weaker when we meet him in the game. Also, I should mention this, but it's not officially confirmed that Rex Lapis is the strongest Archon. I believe he is. Obviously not all the other Archons have been revealed yet, but to me Morax is the strongest in the past. Like I mentioned before, present day he's weaker, where the Raiden Shogun is obviously stronger than him. Gilgamesh's main attack is the Gates of Babylon. Within the portal, it contains all the treasures and weapons he's ever acquired. This includes thousands of prototype noble phantasms that future heroes will eventually use, like Ku's Bolg and the prototype of Caliburn, the sacred sword of King Arthur before Excalibur. But Gil usually uses his Gates of Babylon to shoot weapons at high speeds towards the enemy. This can overpower someone, especially if he uses an omnidirectional attack. If he decides to, Gil can open the Gates of Babylon even further to fire hundreds, even thousands of weapons. The only way to defend against the barrage of swords is to possess a form of defense like a shield, or to counter his attack with your own projectile attack. However, not just any shield or weapon can counter Gil's treasury. It has to be the same rank or higher in quality. As the hero who collected the rarest kinds of weapons, his opponent needs equally as powerful equipment. So if you think just some random wooden shield can block his attacks, then you're screwed. It took Shiro's Ro Aias, the shield Ajax used from the Trojan War, to block a few of Gil's attack, and Unlimited Blade Works, which copies Gil's weapons to counter it. The Gates of Babylon is also infinite, meaning he will never run out of weapons to use, as he can just recall them once it's fired. Now, the biggest weakness for Gil is that he hasn't mastered any specific weapon. If he were to, for example, fight against Ku, if both were to use the demonic spear Bolg, Ku will no doubt win with his own skills. So Gilgamesh is basically the definition of jack of all trades, master of none. Well, except for being a dick. He's mastered that perfectly. But us FGO fans still like him as a character, especially Caster Gilgamesh. Speaking of Caster Gil, this version is weaker, so I won't talk about him, but Gil can shoot magic beams as well. I should also mention Gil has his own ancient flying freaking jet, which resides in the Gates of Babylon, where he can freely use it whenever. But among many things, he has powerful shields, potions, anti-projectile defenses, and magical jewelry. Enkidu, the Chains of Heavens, is another noble phantasm Gil possesses, and one of his strongest. The chains can be fired as a projectile to pierce enemies, but it can also bind them. The Chains of Heavens binding effect grows stronger based on the target's divinity. Basically, the more divine the target is, the chains will be harder to break. Heracles, who is only a demigod, was easily bounded and couldn't break free until near the end. Morax will be in a huge disadvantage cause he's a god. Moving on to Gilgamesh's most powerful weapon, it's the one and only Aya, the Sword of Rapture. This weapon is known as an anti-world noble phantasm and has the capability to rip the world apart at full power. During his battle with Iskandar, he easily destroyed Iskandar's reality marble, which is basically a physical domain or small projected world. In that battle, Gil basically murdered an entire army of heroic spirits without breaking a sweat. In Fate Strange Fake, during his battle with Enkidu, Gil used Enuma Elish and the world was sucked into a void and began tearing apart, literally destroying the world. It was Enkidu's own Enuma Elish that held the world together. So yeah, Aya at full power can basically destroy Genshin Impact's Teyvat, but can Zhongli counter this? We'll see. Moving on to Zhongli's abilities, he is a skilled fighter who has killed and imprisoned many gods. His main weapon is the Vortex Vanquisher, a powerful divine spear. Morax is also the Lord of Geo, so many of his attacks revolves around the earth and stone. He can create multiple spears with his Rain of Stone attack. Zhongli is exceptionally skilled in close quarter combat, but he can throw the spears as projectiles in a similar way Gil does. Morax was known to use multiple stone spears to kill or petrify enemies. He can even create massive stone lances that can crush people. During his fight with another god, Osio, he reshaped the land with these stone lances and transformed it into Gunyun Stone Forest, where large stone structures are still seen. Zhongli can manipulate the Geo within the ground and summon a Stone Steel, which is a Geo construct that attacks with vibration waves from the ground. Though the game limits the amount of Stone Steel, within the lore there's no doubt he can summon multiple at once, having the ability to transform the land. The Geo pillars can act as a physical wall to block attacks or even used as a stepping stone to gain the higher ground. One of Morax's strongest ability is the Jade Shield, which protects him from physical and elemental attacks. The Jade Shield surrounds his entire body and grows stronger the more damage it takes. It's not unbreakable, but it's certainly a powerful defense. Zhongli's most powerful attack is Planet Befall, which drops a freaking meteor. If enemies were able to survive being crushed somehow, they will become petrified and remain as stone. Zhongli has been known to seal other deities in stone, so it's a powerful attack that even certain gods couldn't withstand. Zhongli appears to be able to transform into a dragon as well, which is perfect for aerial battles, but we don't know what abilities he can use in a dragon form. Finally, as one of the 7 Archons, Zhongli has a Gnosis. The exact powers of having a Gnosis hasn't been revealed, but it gives incredible divine powers. After giving up his Gnosis, Zhongli stated that he can no longer create Mora as he's lost most of his powers. So it currently seems like the Gnosis is what gives the Archons godlike powers, meaning if Zhongli ever loses it in battle against Gilgamesh, he doesn't stand a chance, especially against someone who has fought against divine creatures and can easily overpower heroic spirits. So now that we broke down the characters' abilities, who would win in a battle? Gilgamesh always uses the Gates of Babylon at its most basic level, which is to shoot a bunch of weapons at the enemy. If the enemy is strong, he'll open the gates even further to fire a larger amount of weapons. That's usually enough to overwhelm his opponents and kill them, but Zhongli can counter this in several ways. He can create and shoot his own stone spears as a way to counter the Gates of Babylon. There's no doubt he can summon hundreds of spears to counter each weapon Gil fires. This is how Enkidu countered Gil's Gates of Babylon during their fight in Fate's Strange Fake. And as a god of Geo, powered by the Gnosis, Morax's spears aren't weak, meaning it should be able to deflect high-ranking weapons Gil possesses. Another counter is to create giant stone steel or structures to physically block the barrage of swords, though this is only a temporary solution because it's basically just a wall. If enough weapons is fired, it can destroy the structures. Finally, Zhongli has one of the strongest defense abilities, which is his Jade Shield, which can protect him against Gil's attacks. Now, the shield is powerful and it can block the Gates of Babylon, but it will eventually break if it receives enough damage from powerful weapons, and Gil possesses thousands of original noble phantasms, but I would say his Jade Shield is as strong as Roaius. So the combination of his stone spears, Geo constructs, and his Jade Shield can counter the Gates of Babylon if all Gil did was shoot weapons. This means Morax has a superior defense compared to Gil. Offensively, Zhongli's Stone Steel will do little in terms of damage, especially when Gil can just float in the air, but Morax can throw giant stone lances at Gil. This may force Gil to dodge here and there, but it's not enough to kill him, as the gates can easily destroy the stone structures before it hits him. One advantage is that Zhongli is possibly better than Gil in close quarters. Now, Gil isn't a weakling in close combat. He fought against Enkidu, even Artoria, who is a saber class up close, but if Morax can keep the fights within physical reach, he'll be at an advantage. But that's easier said than done, cause Gil is far superior at a distance. Even with all the defenses, Zhongli cannot just walk up to Gil and attack. Remember, his weaponry are thousands of original noble phantasms, which is stronger in terms of quality than the ones used by later heroes. If defeating Gil was as simple as running up to him, a lot of servants can beat him, but the fact is, many can't. Gilgamesh can always change his weaponry to the ones that are best suited to break through Morax's defense. The strongest attack Zhongli has in defeating Gil is Planet Befall. Dropping a meteor and petrifying Gil will buy Zhongli enough time to kill him with a follow-up attack. But even that won't work. Gilgamesh's golden armor is not just for show. The armor gives Gil a huge defense against attacks. Above all else, it protects him against petrification, having used this armor to fight against divine beasts during the Age of Gods. This means one of Zhongli's most powerful ability is rendered useless. Now, Genshin fans may just say, hey, the meteor itself can kill Gilgamesh. That's unlikely because the armor itself can protect him, and he's faced many more devastating attacks. And I have to be fair, I said Zhongli can withstand thousands of divine killing weapons fired from Gil's Gates of Babylon, so it wouldn't be fair to say Gil can't survive being hit by a large rock. His armor is considered a noble phantasm, and within his limitless inventory, he has defensive weapons as well, such as the Shield of the Gods, which can protect him from some of the most powerful noble phantasms. As much as I like Zhongli, Gilgamesh is just far more superior than him. Most of Zhongli's attacks, though powerful in the world of Genshin Impact, cannot defeat Gilgamesh. There's no doubt that Zhongli would be ranked as a powerful character in the Fate universe, possibly on par with the likes of Arjuna or Ramses. But if there's any doubts that Gilgamesh is stronger than Morax, Gil has Aya. As mentioned before, Aya can destroy the world. Just by having Aya out, he can repel attacks and destroy the surrounding area. This isn't even him using it at its max potential, only a small fraction. So Gilgamesh can use Aya to destroy all geo constructs that Morax uses. This includes the meteor. Now, if Gilgamesh decides to use Enuma Elish, there's no possible way Morax can survive. Despite Morax being a god, this is an attack that killed Tiamat, a primordial goddess. Of course, Tiamat has her anti-death authority removed by Grand Assassin in FGO, but Zhongli doesn't have anti-death. So you just have to ask the question, which will win? A weapon that can kill primordial gods with one blast no less, versus a large meteor. So Aya is an auto win for Gil, but that weapon is too OP. So we need to ask, can Gil beat Zhongli without Aya? The answer is still yes. Aside from Aya, Gilgamesh possesses the Chains of Heavens, which can bind Morax since he's a god. The chains could even bind the Bowl of Heaven, which is a divine beast during Gil's era. So Zhongli cannot break free from the chains, again making Gil the superior fighter. Now Zhongli could use his Jade Shield to protect himself against the Chains of Heaven, but Gil can break the Jade Shield with his other noble phantasms, and once that's broken, the chains can just bind them. Now let's just say Gilgamesh can't use Enkidu or Aya, two of his most powerful weapons. It'll still be hard for Zhongli to win. The one advantage Morax has over Gil is the Jade Shield, which is not unbreakable. Once that breaks, he can't possibly survive. Gilgamesh can use individual noble phantasm. The only reason why he doesn't and decides to just shoot them is cause he's an arrogant jerk. He has fire and ice swords, demonic swords, divine weapons, even Hydra poison, which can kill Zhongli cause the amount of pain it would cause, even gods would wish for death. As mentioned before, Zhongli's Jade Shield is possibly as strong as Roaius, which is a very powerful shield. Due to possessing so many weapons though, Zhongli can't possibly counter every single one of Gilgamesh's attacks. The only way Zhongli can beat Gilgamesh is if Gil is stripped of all his abilities, and all he can do is shoot random weapons at Zhongli. So if Gilgamesh fought like he did in Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero with his Gates of Babylon, then Zhongli can definitely win. But if Gilgamesh starts using individual noble phantasms, then it's a bit more challenging, and I would argue that Gil would be superior. Basically, Gilgamesh has hundreds of ways, if not thousands of ways, to beat Zhongli, while some of Morax's most powerful abilities, such as Petrification, Stone Constructs, and the Meteor, aren't really a threat to Gil at all. In the end, the King of Heroes is superior than the God of Geo. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree Gilgamesh is more powerful, or do you think Zhongli is far superior than Gil? I mean, a high schooler did defeat Gilgamesh, so that's something. But what are your thoughts? Comment down below to let me know. So I had a lot of fun making this video. I'm a huge fan of Genshin Impact and Fate. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I'll be making another FGO versus Genshin. This time, it's the two Electro Moms of the franchise. So look forward to that. Thanks again for watching. Have an awesome day.